Today's episode is sponsored by Light and Grace Wellness Spa, located in Warwick, Rhode Island. They are a women's-only exclusive boutique spa where you can definitely relax if you are a busy entrepreneur or mom on the go. You should check out her website at www.lightandgracewellnessspa.com. Hey guys, Erica Saccocio here with Practical Biz Podcast. I am so excited you tuned in today. I have a very fun, exciting guest who's joining us today. But before we hop into who our special guest is, I just want to talk a little bit about business and the business that he is working in and owns in the tattoo industry and artist industry. So when we talk about business and growth, there is one unexpected industry that just continues to grow and stand the test of time, and that is tattooing. There's roughly 21,000 tattoo studios in the United States of America, making $2.3 billion of revenue each year. And that continues to grow at a 6.6% growth anticipated for this year, next year, and it will continue to grow as having a tattoo is certainly much more socially acceptable than it had been 20 or 30 years ago. I found some really cool stats that probably won't surprise you, but 36% of U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 29 have at least one tattoo, and 72% of tattooed adults have at least one or two tattoos. That's and 45 million people, 21% of America, have more than one tattoo.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
And you know what's really funny is I think people in their mind have this thing in their head of who has tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny, me being a teacher, and I'm 52, I have a tattoo, and sometimes when people I didn't know you had a tattoo. I'm like, why are you so surprised?
Yeah, it's a big shock.
Yeah, a big shocker, right? I'm like, why are you so surprised? One of our teachers that's been with us for, oh my gosh, we've been together 24 years. Her name is Charlene. Literally, I don't think there's a part on her body that isn't tattooed from her neck down. She's got sleeves. I think she has 4 tattoos on her neck alone. That's amazing. On her hand, on her foot. She's got a big sunflower. So just about anybody really at this point can have a tattoo, as you know. And it is people who tend to have a higher income.
Yes.
I also found that in the stats I thought was amazing. 30% of U.S. college grads have tattoos. And also grandma and grandpa also have tattoos. 11% of 50 to 60-year-olds have tattoos. So none of this is a shock to you.
No, it's
so. So I'm going to give you a minute to introduce yourself, tell our listeners your name, a little bit about your company, and we'll go from there.
Okay. My name is Jesus Rios. I own Memento Tattoo, located in East Providence, Rhode Island. I've been tattooing for 22 years. I've owned the business going on 12 years, and I love what I do. I'm obsessed with it.
I know. I can tell. I can tell. So I always do research on my guests before they come. I want to make sure I have legit, real business owners that bring value to our show. So here's the things that I'm going to tell you about him that he's probably not going to say about himself. First of all, he has a A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I do my research. Yeah. He has 519 reviews on his Facebook page.
Yes.
With a 4.9 rating, which is insane.
That's really good.
So be modest. That is crazy. So that right there speaks to not only the quality of work that you do, but the way that you take care of your customers.
Yes.
And the way that you make your customers feel. So that alone speaks volumes.
Well, that's very key for me, honestly. As long as my customers and clients feel satisfied and happy, I don't ask for reviews. I tell them, if you're going to put a review, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But I just want to make them feel comfortable and happy and accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you guys did a good job there. Not only that, you have over 5,000 followers on Facebook and another almost 3,000 on Instagram, which is pretty cool for a small Rhode Island-based business that isn't branded by some super expensive corporation throwing billions of dollars at you. So I want to say I appreciate all of that.
Well, thank you.
I think it's great, and it's hard to achieve that level as a small business owner.
I'm not going to lie. It's very humbling. Honestly, it's very, very humbling, and it makes me feel good because obviously you look at the statistics and you look at, the analytics with regards to like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And sometimes you feel like you're not getting ahead. And then when you hear it, it's very humbling.
Well, I'll be here to remind you that you are pretty great. So tell us, what did you do for work before you were in the field?
I was a manager for a call center for, I want to say, 5 years. I've been in customer service for the better part of my early 20s, and I loved it. But I've always been an artist, so it was always calling to me. And I'm what you call an accidental tattoo artist, because it's not something, you hear these young kids, I always want to be a tattoo artist. And in my head, I'm like, I never wanted to. I wanted to work for Disney. I wanted to be a Disney animator, actually, when I was younger. So.
Yeah. So art was your passion. You just didn't know the lane of the vehicle?
7. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know the vehicle in which, I can tell you, listen, we all, I think, end up being accidental entrepreneurs. So I was in sales and customer service just like you. I had my daughter. And I was like, I'm not putting my baby anywhere with people I don't know.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
25 years later, here I am in childcare, right?
Yeah.
But that was accidental. Of course, I ended up loving it, but I didn't know I was going to love it because I hadn't tried it before.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it is that sometimes your entrepreneurship happens by accident.
Well, I'm a firm believer that the universe will give you your path, and whether you want it or not, it's going to give it to you, and you're going to follow it to the letter. And that's what I did. Once I have a path, I'm like a locomotive. You ain't going to stop me no matter what. So,
yeah. So you started your business with a little help from your old boss.
Well, yeah. I it was a
little exit door.
little exit door. He pushed me to start my own business because I was expecting my third child. And, I can't thank him enough in regards to it. We still talk. I still reach out to Nate. What's up, Nate? He's a good dude. He's been in the industry longer than I have. And when he believes in somebody, and when he'll actually wait for you, So, I interviewed with him. I was thinking about leaving a shop I was working at in Riverside, and I kind of got cold feet. I got scared because I was comfortable.
Yeah.
And, circumstances happened, and I reached out to him and I was like, hey, is that position still available? And he was like, brother, I've been waiting on you. So, and then everything kind of fell in line. And, when I had when we had our child, I opened up my business, and with $2,000 in my pocket and, motivation and hustle, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, that for many people who start businesses is because of some type of a life change.
Yeah.
A major life change is kind of that thing that just pushes you off the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, if we got to do it now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Got to do it now. You better stop waiting, right? So sometimes those things that you're worried about, or the opportunities that you think are a curse, really end up being a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to get out of your comfort zone.
You have to. You have to get out of your comfort zone, because if you don't, you're never going to amount to anything. It's like what, I tell people, when you test the water, right, you dip your toe in. No, just jump in it.
Yeah.
You'll get acclimated and
quicker than the toe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a long, painful journey when it's just a toe at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm putting one toe. No, I'm putting two. No, just jump in.
Yeah, for sure. So you clearly have a very successful business. So can you share with us maybe what you think makes a successful business?
Just being real. Staying on top of the small things, making sure your artists, or making sure your business is fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Stock, overhead, things of that nature. Staying on top of everything. Also, don't be afraid to, if you're getting behind on bills, just speak with, the electric company, the gas company, your landlord.
Yeah.
They'll work with you. They know they can't get blood out of a stone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to meet them halfway.
Yep.
And then when things start picking up and you catch yourself up, sorry about that.
Yeah.
You make sure that you say to yourself that things are going to get better, even when they get worse, even when it seems like
the mindset of being positive, because you can very quickly get down in a spiral and want to give up.
Exactly.
But it's temporary.
I've been there. I'm not going to lie. I've been there. Second year, I was ready to pack it all in. And, my ex-wife was like, well, you sure you want to give up? And my mother was like, well, why don't you get a part-time job? And I said to myself,
Oh boy,
yeah,
don't do it.
and that's what I said to myself. I'm like, listen, I've been tattooing full-time for X amount of years, never needing a part-time job. If I'm going to fail, I'm sinking with the ship, period.
Yeah.
And I just believed in myself, and you hustle. You put out some deals. You reach out to some of your clients, your customers, and you talk with your peers, because that's what I did.
Yep.
And
Networking and collaborating.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you pull all this little information, and next thing you know, you're already a year beyond the pain of what you were experiencing.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because you're in the wrong room. If you are, right, you got it. You have to reach out to other people who are ahead of you, know more about your industry. I think there's two things to that. I think networking with people who know more about your industry than you are, but then also learning on your own.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's very much a collaboration of those two things.
Exactly.
Right? Because you got to make it your own as well, right? Somebody can say, yeah, do it this way. Well, their way might be the right way for them, but not maybe the right way for you. But taking that knowledge and then using that knowledge to your best ability, how can you maximize that for your business?
And in the same token, listen to your gut.
Oh,
I had multiple tattoo shop owners come up to me asking to either buy me out or get in a partnership.
Yep.
And my gut was telling me this is not a good sign. So I just straight up said no.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not going to work out. Maybe in the future. But I realized that listening to your own instinct is tantamount to becoming successful, or in my words, I call myself, consistently, successful. I'm not behind, but I'm not that far ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm, well enough that my bills are paid on time. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all I care about. I care about making my clients happy, paying my bills. That's it,
Yeah.
And not having somebody breathe down my neck.
Yeah. I think there is definitely a lot to be said for following your gut in business. I think it is instinctual. I think sometimes you have to back away from the noise a little bit, right? Give yourself a little bit of time. And God, before you ever give up, definitely, even if it's like 2 weeks, just take a little break, recenter yourself, get your mind in the right spot, and then get your ass.
Touch some grass, right?
Get moving the right way, right? Get moving forward. Yeah. So tell us, how did you select your location? Because certainly your industry is one that you have to really make sure you have a good location.
Yeah. So, at the time I was still working with Nate. My apprentice Alex happened to see an ad on Instagram. I think it was Craigslist, actually.
Craigslist, yep.
And she liked the photos because of the ceiling. It had these metal tiles. And I went to look at the location. And it's on a main road. It's on Pawtucket Avenue. And I thought, oh, look at all these cars. People are going to want to come and get tattooed.
Yeah.
And I met with the landlord, and I told him, I had X amount of dollars to put as a deposit. And, in my world, money talks, right? And, if they're looking for a certain amount of cash, then you get it to them. And my in-laws at the time were able to help me as well to kind of get it over the hump.
Yeah.
And that's how I got the location. And I've been maintaining it ever since, honestly.
And how long have you been at that location?
We're going on 12 years as of the 11th of this month.
Yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
So you've hit over that 10-year mark, because most businesses, if you're going to fail, it's usually in your first year or two, and then once you get to year 5, sometimes they drop off then. But once you get to year 10, you're pretty established.
Exactly.
And as long as you continue, as long as you continue to maintain that level of quality that got you there,
exactly,
right, and you stay relevant. Like up with technology, you're probably not still using all of the same equipment from when you first started, right?
When I first started, we were drawing with paper and pencil. Now I'm drawing on my iPad.
So staying relevant, making sure that your business is functioning in the most efficient way possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like you said, staying relevant, and that's following the technologies as it goes. I find it hilarious that at my age, 45, a lot of my young artists don't understand like Procreate or Photoshop.
Yeah.
But, that's something that you have to take it upon yourself to learn. And, I try to stay relevant with regards to social media because, I did an experiment, like, I think it was like 3 years ago. I deleted my Facebook.
Yeah.
And you would have thought I fell off the face of the earth. People were texting my phone. What happened to you? Did you block me? And I'm like, no, I'm just taking a social media break.
Yeah.
So you have to stay relevant, because if you don't, especially with social media, these young kids want to see that. They want to feel like they're a part of something.
Well, I think your industry certainly is a big factor too.
Yeah.
You're selling art.
Yeah.
So it's very visual.
Exactly.
So yes, your industry without a doubt would have to be on any place that you have visual platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you select the right team other than your gut? Because your team can make or break your business in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way I go about selecting a team, and ironically, I'm actually interviewing an artist later on today, is I sit down with them in person and I just feel the vibe I get from them, right?
Yeah.
Because, doing a video interview, doing a phone interview, it's not the same. You don't get to understand their personality, their quirks. You don't read their body language, their eyes. I read all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to being a hiring manager, so
Correct.
I'm used to it.
Correct.
But I go by vibes. I look at the quality of work. I ask them about, their clientele, and if they're ready to hustle, and I tell them, like, if you're willing to put in the hours and put in the time, I'll have your back until you stop believing yourself. And even at that, I'm going to push you to become a better version of yourself when you leave, whether it's by my hands or by their own hands. They're moving on to a different shop.
Yep.
But I'm going to motivate and push people with positivity so that they know that, listen, the industry's tough, especially for females. And my shop right now is 80% female, but I believe in that because I have 4 daughters. So it's
well, that's awesome that you give that opportunity. I love that, the women empowerment of that, for sure. And then also I think too, women who come out to get tattoos might feel a little more comfortable, pulling out their breasts to a woman, female, a female tattoo artist over a gentleman. Not all women, but some women. Yeah. I think that there's that comfort level for them too.
Exactly.
And inclusive, like you said.
Yeah, and then also finding the right personalities to mesh with each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a game of chess. It's, this person, this, and this. All right, well, we're all adults, first of all, number one. Yeah. Let's just calm the rhetoric and see
42
what
women
works.
on my team. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that you said, I think as far as there are certain things you can teach and certain things you can't. You can teach technique. You can teach how to use tools. You can't teach personality.
Exactly.
You can't teach work ethic. You can't teach all of those things that are necessary to have a good.
And that's the number one thing that I picked up of what you said is work ethic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's you can lead a horse to water. You can't force him to drink it. Right. I will show you what you need to do to become successful long term.
Yeah.
But if you're not gonna even give it an attempt, and I'm wasting my time, and you're wasting your own time.
Yeah.
And we could just part ways and be friends.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the only way that you can really have great, talented people is you have to give them opportunities to grow. Because if not, they're out of there. Why would they stay?
Exactly.
Right. So feeding your people with not only positivity, but like you said, training, support, and helping them see their value and how they can continue to grow themselves. So it's a little bit support and then their own initiative.
And also as an owner, you have to be, I have an open door policy. You can talk to me about anything, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm going to, I'm a straight shooter. So if it's something I can help you with, that's fine. If not, then I'm going to find either a person, the tools that's going to help you become a better version. So I definitely hear you on that.
Absolutely. So did you have a rock solid business plan or did you just wing it?
No, I
winged it?
Yeah. On a wing and a prayer.
On a wing and a prayer.
But, one of my younger brothers is very business savvy. He's been in the business world for years. And he told me you need to make a business plan. So I did, after 2 years.
That's okay. But
yeah.
But then it gave you some guidance.
Yes.
Which is how you have been able to be successful so long. Right? You can wing it when you first start, right? Because you're going to learn a lot of things too. Like you can have a business plan and think, and me and Chris are a perfect example. We had a business plan when we first opened. We had a plan. We were going to have one daycare center. Yeah. Within 8 weeks, we had 2. That was not in the plan. So you don't know, but it's a starting point.
Yeah.
Right? But then as you start to treat your business like a business, you start to say, oh, I got to employ some strategy. Yeah. I have to employ some marketing. I have to, right. Yeah. So that's where the plan comes. It's not always for financial reasons. You didn't, you didn't need a loan at first through a bank the traditional way. Yeah. But you did figure out that at some point you need a plan.
Yes, of course. You definitely need a plan because if you don't have a plan, you're setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah.
And you could beg, borrow, and steal, but at the end of the day, it's better to be organized and understand your business.
Yep.
And appreciate what it is to run a business.
So where do you see yourself in 4 years or 5 years? Where do you see any changes for your business?
I've thought about changing locations multiple times. The parking situation has always been something people complain about. And, I want to get a bigger facility because I would like to not only get a bigger crew, but also do, podcasting, in regards to the tattoo industry and based on my experience.
You heard it here first, guys.
There you go.
Heard it here first.
Exclusive.
Yeah, we're gonna have you here next week. We'll start your podcast right now.
I'm with it. I'm down.
All right. Yeah.
I'm down with that. Honestly.
Let's do it.
But I'm a person that likes to pass on knowledge. I don't like to gatekeep. I feel that this industry as a whole, there are people that take advantage of passing on knowledge. You have these tattoo schools and they're doing it the wrong way. They're taking money from people, 15 grand, 30 grand, 45 grand, and they're not giving them the right tools, right? And I want to give back to the community that has given me so much. And one of those is, and it's...
let's just stay there for a minute because, that's super important.
Yeah.
Right? That to me, that's important too. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We pay to produce this show.
Yeah.
Once in a while we have a few sponsors, but really it is to help the business community. Our business community in Rhode Island certainly took a hit during COVID, like many others.
Oh, yeah.
And that was how our business came to life. I was like, oh my God, there's so many small businesses right now that are struggling. Like, how do we help them? And it was, what other small businesses do we have here in Rhode Island? We do have a few other folks that come in from other states and we do Zoom. But first of all, people in person.
Well, you got to pick up the vibe.
It's magic.
Real. Yeah.
It's magic.
It really is.
So yeah, there's that piece, and Zoom calls are boring enough. Never mind. Who wants to watch a Zoom call of a Zoom call?
Yeah.
If there's an expert in, California, there's, a few folks that we do enjoy having on our show. They're from other parts of the country that we can't really fly them in because we don't have any $1 million sponsors yet. Yeah. But there is some magic about giving back to your community. And I think that is literally it's one of my 4 core values.
Yeah.
And people are probably tired of me talking about it, but it's important.
It's definitely important.
It's important.
Because when you create a circle, that circle can either expand or contract. We want it to expand.
Yes.
We want to make a community of small business owners because it's like-minded individuals. And, I could pick up cues from a person who owns a massage parlor.
Yep.
And you could pick up cues from my business. And, it starts becoming, there's the synergy in regards to it. And you can pick up the right tools to better your business.
Yeah. And I'm laughing and I'm smiling because you said you can pick up tools from a massage therapist. My niece, Jaleesa, is a massage therapist who owns Light and Grace. This is not pre-planned. Who owns Light and Grace Wellness Spa, who is sponsoring today's show.
Oh, there you go. Special sponsor.
Look at that, right? And she's the smartest millennial I've ever met in my life.
There you go.
She helped me turned on to the Instagram, right? I'm laughing. You're like, I'm 40-something. I'm like, God, I'll be 53 in a couple months.
45 with a 60-year-old body.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you, tattooing.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know all of the services that you offer at your tattoo.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm sorry. So we offer custom tattooing. One of my artists, Emily, she does microblading, which is, the eyebrow thing.
Yeah.
We don't offer piercings anymore, but there are a lot of shops that offer it that are doing amazing jobs with piercings.
Okay.
But, I specialize. I'm literally a jack of all trades. The only thing I won't do is portraits because I have a huge respect for it. Okay. There are plenty of artists in Rhode Island that do it. Animal portraits, give me a hit. Let me know. I can do it. But I specialize in cover-ups, reworking tattoos, old existing tattoos. And I also like to do neo-traditional / anime tattoos because I love cartoons.
Sure.
So
that would be why you wanted to work for Disney. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I love cartoons. I've been a cartoon artist, since I was 9 years old.
Amazing.
And I've been in art. I've been doing art since I was 7. So it's ingrained in my blood. My father's an artist. All my other brothers The majority of them are artists in their own
Love
perspectives.
that.
Like one of them is a barber. He's been doing it well over 20 years, you know, so
Now, do any of your family members work with you?
no. All my family lives in the like my family's spread.
Spread out. Okay.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, so a lot of my family's in New York.
Yep.
My brother who does the Jonathan, who does the hair cutting, he's in the military right now, so he's in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I have a brother in South Carolina. I have one in Connecticut. So my brothers are spread. I have 5 brothers,
Okay.
and I'm the oldest, so
Okay.
I'm the example setter. But I was
Well,
also
I'm
the
the
black
oldest.
sheep, so like,
Me too.
you know,
I'm the oldest.
I think it's ironic right now, you know, but.
All right. So, is there anything that you want to share with the listening audience that I didn't ask you before we wrap up?
The one thing I would say for the listening audience is if you're thinking about starting a business, number 1, business plan, first and foremost. And number 2, never give up on yourself. Just never give up. Even when you feel, as long as you have 1%, right? Like a battery.
Yeah.
If you have that 1%, you can get past and push past whatever obstacle is there. Just have to believe in yourself and quiet out the noise around you. Just look in the mirror and say, we got this, you know, and it's just keep pushing forward and never look back, because past is the past, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at the here and now, and don't worry about the future either, because you never know.
Yeah.
Not written in stone. So
Yeah. I so appreciate you sharing your wisdom with us today. So if folks want to reach out to you, can you just give them your, look at the camera?
Oh, yeah.
And give them your contact info, where they can find you.
All right. You're going to go on Instagram and look up Jesus Tattooed Me. It's a great name for Instagram. Give me a follow. The shop is located on 2399 Pawtucket Avenue. We're right on the first floor. You can't miss us. You can follow us on Facebook, Memento Tattoo, Instagram, Memento Tattoo, and a phone number to reach us at is 401-632-4223.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Practical Business. We will see you next week. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Are you a business owner? Are ready to get your startup? Well, start it. Have a burning question you would like us to answer? Want to know more about the services we offer? Or register for upcoming workshops and events? Looking to book a guest speaker? Or like to be a guest on the Practical Biz podcast? Visit our website at stellabusinessconcepts.com.